Good morning, all. As we enter into this service, please note that those of you participating by Zoom are muted by our host, and we ask that in-house participants please remain masked while in the sanctuary. Also, please be advised that this service is being recorded, and with the exception of joys and concerns, will be published online. Finally, if you wish, take a moment to arrange your own chalice at home. I don't know about you, but I'm excited about fall, that fall is starting. It's my favorite time of year, except I probably say that about every season. I love the leaves changing color. Who needs flowers when the leaves themselves turn golden, marmalade, and scarlet? Our sunsets grow more magnificent, and our fabulous weather seems to get even better. Pumpkin turns up on menus. It is truly a gift to live here. So as we enter this time of worship together, let us treasure whatever gifts we find. Let us appreciate our community. Let us expand our hearts and minds. Robert Wilkinson will light the chalice here in the sanctuary. I invite you to light your own chalice and place it where it can be seen by others. We gather this hour as people of faith, with joys and sorrows, gifts and needs. We light this beacon of hope as a sign of our quest for truth and meaning, in celebration of the life we share together. Before we sing the first hymn, let me remind our remote participants to leave yourselves muted and our in-house participants to remain masked. However, we want you and whoever is with you to sing as loud and big as you like with Mary and Jan. Make it a joyous experience. Please stand if you are able and willing to sing the opening hymn, Soon the Day Will Arrive, number 146.
Smile without wondering whether on that day thunderclouds will appear. Wait and see what a world there can be, and we know that there's always tomorrow. O tire, come tov yihere, bashana, bashana, havaya. Some have dreamed, some have died to make a bright tomorrow, and our vision remains in our hearts. Now the torch must be passed with new hope, not in sorrow, and a promise to make a new start. Wait and see what a world there can be, and we know that there's always tomorrow. You will see just how good it will be. Bashana, bashana, havaya.
Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist community of Cambria. We are glad you have joined us today. Our UUCC sanctuary sits on land that the Salinan and Chumash indigenous peoples historically inhabited. We honor their contribution to this region and give thanks for the opportunity to gather as a faith community on their unceded ancestral lands. Let us now share a moment of silence in appreciation of the beauty of the land we now inhabit. As a Unitarian Universalist community, we celebrate religious diversity and welcome all who journey in search of faith and spirituality. The UUCC is a lay-led congregation run by the democratic process. We invite speakers from different religious traditions and spiritual or scientific backgrounds to speak at our pulpit. We encourage presentations covering a variety of topics and areas of interest to our community that connect with the UU 7 principles. Today's service centers on the 7th principle. We affirm and promote the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. Our 7th principle may be our Unitarian Universalist way of coming to fully embrace something greater than ourselves. The interdependent web, expressed as the spirit of life, the ground of all being, the oneness of all existence, the community forming power, the process of life, the creative force, even God, can help us develop that social understanding of ourselves that we and our culture so desperately need. It is a source of meaning to which we can dedicate our lives. My name is Nancy Tolan, and I am your worship associate for this morning's service. I would like to extend a special welcome to anyone joining us for the first time. We're glad you have joined us this morning. If you are not on the mailing list, please visit the UUCC website at www.uuccambria.org so that we can keep you informed about our activities. And please check out What's Happening, a weekly e-blast sent to all members and friends. This is a great way to keep up with the latest news in this community. And as a reminder, if you wish to see this or any previous Zoom service, recordings of these services are available on the UUCC website and Facebook as well. The membership committee invites non-members to consider joining our community. Please contact Diane DeMarco or a person on the board if you're interested. Thank you. So again, good morning and welcome to everyone. The affirmation is both a recognition of the nature of this community as well as a promise we make and aspire to. Let us now recite the UUCC affirmation. Love is the doctrine of this church, and the service is its prayer. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in freedom, and to help one another. We set aside this time for any short announcements that would be of interest to our UU community members and friends. Please keep your items short and to the point. For any items that need more explanation, please contact or email the person after the service to be respectful of everyone's time. If you have an announcement, please raise your hand. When Randy or I call your name, please stand or unmute yourself, then speak. I have an announcement. Our church community will have a potluck here at the church on Sunday, October 16th, starting at 4 p.m. Janet.
Just a reminder, today is fourth Sunday, the last fourth Sunday of the third quarter, and we're collecting for green space. So please keep that in mind during the collections. Thank you.
Thank you, Janet. Mary.
Thank you. Hi, on behalf of the Nominations and Elections Committee, I want to thank all of you, in particular Dolores Miera, who volunteered to run for president again. Yay, Dolores! And we have for members at large, we have Steve Nathanson, Kat Lakich, and Nancy Tolan. Thank you very much for doing that. We still have a couple of maybes that we have to move over into the yes category for nominations and elections, so I'm not going to mention their names yet. But I've got to say, Nominations and Election Committee is probably one of the easier, if you want to be involved, but you don't have a lot of time, it might be one of the easier things to do. So I'm going to try to firm up those two, but if you haven't said yes yet to doing that, We have one, definite yes, we need 2 more people. Thank you very much.
And that's 2 more people on the nominating
We
committee?
need 3 people to do, it's a 1-year commitment. You don't really have to start making phone calls or canvassing our community until, well, we started really late, really late, but August would be good, your beginning of August. And then you run you create the ballot, and then you run the voting, which might be easier if we don't have, it will be really easy this year if we don't have people contending for positions, which in the congregation this size is not very likely. So we might be able to just take a voice vote this year. Thank you.
Anybody else here? Okay. Diane?
Yeah, Anita, could you please unmute yourself and tell us your announcement?
Yes, good morning. It's Janet Cooper's birthday. So I'm singing happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday,
Dear Janet.
happy birthday to you. And many more.
Thank you. Okay, yeah, and now Nancy, did you have one other announcement you were going to make? about the
Well, I thought you were going to make an announcement, but hey, I'll do it. Please mark your calendars for the UUCC Annual Congregational Meeting, November 20th. You are invited for lunch, place to be announced. We will have the annual election and budget approval on that day. Our nominating committee, Mary, Wayne, and Jeff, have been working hard to fill all the positions that are now opening up in January. If you can't make it to the meeting, absentee ballots will be available before that. We truly would love to see all members and friends on November 20th for our annual election and luncheon.
Okay, I have an announcement.
Randy has an announcement.
Actually, okay, yeah. I'm not getting into the view. I have 2 announcements. The first one is the worship committee will be meeting tomorrow at 4 p.m. on Zoom, and all are welcome. Just let me know if you wish to join, and I'll send you the Zoom link. And all members of the committee, please be there 4 o'clock on Zoom tomorrow. Second announcement, I sent out by authorization of the board, a referendum and a poll. I sent it out this morning to all the members to review and vote on the referendum and offer your opinion on the poll itself. And the referendum is regards to purchasing a monitor for the sanctuary, and the poll is about masking. Okay, so please check your email and respond as soon as you are able. Thank you.
Next week, Rebecca Hendricks will present on progressive Christianity. So, Randy Schwalbe has a report from the board.
Morning. Your Board of Trustees met last Monday evening at 6 p.m. by Zoom, and all were in attendance. Mary Schwalbe gave a report on the NEC standing, and their treasurer's report was given. Checking account, $29,912.91, savings, $5,903.65. Pledged revenues year to date, $31,274.76, and that's at 81% return. Total revenue is $2,243.33. Total expenditures, $4,618.46. Net revenue is negative $2,375.13. The net revenue year to date, $5,011.95. Unrestricted funds from 2021 stands at $9,706.38. The annual membership meeting was scheduled for November 20th, as you heard. All members are invited, members and friends are invited for this lunch meeting immediately after the service. And the committee chairs will be notified to prepare a report. A copyright issue that was brought to our attention by Spectrum turns out to have been the illicit use of our guest Wi-Fi. We had a password posted in view that you can see through the windows. The problem has been resolved. There will be no public access to Wi-Fi here in the sanctuary as a policy. The board agreed that only UUCC members with a need to know should have access to the various passwords used for our accounts and the building. Regarding the improvement of the atmosphere of the UUCC sanctuary, a special email to all members has been sent out this morning. Included is a referendum regarding the purchase and installation of a 85-inch monitor to replace the projector, which is not noisy today, but a lot of times it is, and an opinion poll regarding the mask mandate currently imposed on the sanctuary attendees during Sunday services. I will be sending out an official termite letter to all the owners of the Arlington Square stating that we will make available $8,000 toward the tenting of this entire building. The next board meeting will be held on October 17th at 6 p.m. here in the sanctuary. All are welcome to attend. Thank you. Yes.
Okay.
So if anybody doesn't know, the monitor would go on the wall so people in the sanctuary can see like the words to the songs and other pertinent information. Sharing together some of our personal and significant joys and concerns brings us closer as a faith community. We invite you to share the milestones that are deeply felt as a part of your personal life, along with expressions of gratitude or acknowledgement. But please be mindful and considerate of all who come to worship with us this morning. This is a time of community building. Thank you, everyone. The collective flames of these candles embody all the joys and concerns which may have gone unspoken today, but are also deeply felt in this community.
Lead us to unity and peace.
The first reading is an excerpt from The Fire Next Time by James Baldwin, an American writer and activist of the 20th century. Life is tragic simply because the earth turns and the sun inexorably rises and sets. And one day, for each of us, the sun will go down for the last time. Perhaps the whole root of our trouble, the human trouble, is that we sacrifice all the beauty of our lives. We'll imprison ourselves in totems, taboos, crosses, blood sacrifices, steeples, mosques, races, armies, flags, nations, and in order to deny the fact of death, which is the only fact we have. It seems to me that one ought to rejoice in the fact of death, ought to decide, indeed, to earn one's death by confronting with compassion the conundrum of life. Let us now enter a time of peace and serenity where you are one with your spiritual being. Be at peace within your space where the absence of all that is temporal is the most cherished gift. Let us enter the stillness. May we find the compassion and empathy we need to strengthen relationships. May we find ways to love each other well. May we not judge or condemn, but rather build a beloved community. The second reading is by Darcey Lober. May we turn to nature itself to help us discover and remember the true nature of things, to make peace with the reality that life feeds on death, feeding on life. We are all bound to the cycle, the chaos of what lies just underneath our ordering systems of thought. We do this so that we might stand in the center of creation and feel in harmony with it. Today's sermon is also entitled The Interdependent Web Embracing the Mess, to be delivered by Darcey Lober. Darcey Lober, I hope, am I saying that right? Yeah. Okay, is a former lay minister from Chalice Fellowship of the Conejo Valley. She is a longtime Unitarian Universalist, environmental and social justice advocate, lay minister, and my favorite, goddess priestess, who loves to sing, dance, garden, and most of all, share the fruits of those labors with others. Darcey?
So good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure, and I'm very grateful to be here, allowed once again into your pulpit to share some of my thoughts, my stories, and my songs. This song I'd like to teach you is by Heather Houston, and the theme is rewilding the soul. And we'll do it as a call and response, so I can teach it to you, and then we can sing it all together. So repeat after me. Oh, river, rewild my soul. Oh, river, rewild my soul. Help me let go of control. Help me let go of control. Show my heart how to flow with ease again, how to flow with ease again. I am ready, take me in. I am ready, take me in. Let's do that all together. Oh, river, rewild my soul. Help me let go of control. Show my heart how to flow with ease again. I am ready, take me in. Next verse. Oh, mountain, rewild my soul. Help me let go of control. Show my heart how to lift mine eyes again. I am ready, take me in. Oh, sunshine, oh, rewild my soul. Help me let go of control. Show my heart how to fly so free again. I am ready, take me in. Oh, vast sky, rewild my how to be spaciousness again. I am ready. Take me in. Oh, soft wind, rewild my soul. Help me let go of control. Show my heart how to be clear and cleansed again. I am ready. Take me in. Oh, forest, rewild my soul. Help me let go of control. Show my heart how to trust this path again. I am ready. Take me in. Oh, sunshine, rewild my soul. Help me let go of control. Show my heart how to shine with warmth again. I am ready. Take me in. Oh, mama, rewild my soul. Help me let go of control. Show my heart how to beat with yours again. I am ready. Take me in again. I am ready. I am ready. Take me in last time. I'm ready. I am ready. Take me in. Thank you. Once upon a time, a newly called preacher stood in my congregation's pulpit to tell us how he came to be one. He recounted how his spiritual life began when, under the influence of psychedelics, he and a friend went to the dump and started worshiping the garbage. The trash, he said, can you imagine? And everyone laughed, right? But me, I thought to myself, well, we better start worshiping our trash, or we're going to end up being buried in it. 30 years later now, it's obvious to even the casual observer that we are in big trouble. We're all witnessing firsthand in this now worldwide cash economy how looking at the riches our earth provides simply as resources to be used until they are all used up in pursuit of our own individual livelihoods and enrichment has this planet on the brink of catastrophic extinctions, and we humans swimming in the trash of our own designs. Concerned scientists and environmental activists have been sending out their clarion call for years now, and everyone knows we need our trees to breathe, but the Amazonian rainforest is still being cut down for the lumber and to grow more beef. Yes, we are in big trouble, and something needs to change, and quick. And I think it is perhaps first and foremost what is now our worldwide attitude. In her new book, Braiding Sweetgrass, biologist Robin Kinnear tells us that the native North Americans have a different take. They see the earth's riches not as resources to be used, but as gifts that have been given to be honored and respected for the benefit of all. According to the Okanagan tribe of upstate New York, in the beginning, there was only dark waters until Sky Woman fell through a hole in the fabric of heaven. Like a dust mote in a shaft of light, she fell, clutching a bundle in her right hand, headed for the dark ocean below. The geese resting on the surface looked up to see her tumbling downward and rose together to catch her and bring her gently down to their ocean home. Now all the other creatures gathered round to look upon her, and recognizing that the geese couldn't support her weight forever, a great turtle floating in the middle of the crowd offered to host her on his back. And so she stepped upon him and settled herself there. But the animals felt this woman needed more. And they had heard stories about mud at the bottom of the ocean and were determined to retrieve some for her. The loon dove first, but it was way too far down, and it returned empty-handed. So went one animal after the other. The seal, the sturgeon, all returned empty-handed. And some didn't return at all, until at last it was the little muskrat's turn, perhaps the weakest swimmer of them all. He bravely dove down, and the animals waited and waited, until at long last a little string of bubbles arose, and with them the limp body of the little muskrat who gave its life in pursuit. The animals noticed that his fist was clenched tight, and when they opened, they found a little ball of mud. They gave that to Sky Woman, who then took that mud and spread it all over the turtle's back, singing her songs of gratitude. And then she began to dance her dance of gratitude. And with every footfall, the land grew bigger and bigger until it became what is known today as Turtle Island, this land we live on. Now, she hadn't come empty-handed. Like any good guest, she had brought something with her. Before she had fallen through that hole in the fabric of heaven, she had grabbed onto the tree of life and broken off a branch. And in her hand were the seeds of all the trees, the bushes, and the grasses to come. She scattered those seeds all over the new land, and soon a forest grew up, a beautiful garden, so filled with food that some of the animals decided to come up out of the water and live with her on the land. So you see, this garden we live in today in the Native American attitude was formed not by Sky Woman alone, but in reciprocal gratitude for the kindness and the gifts the animals had given her. So in the Native American tradition, when we see the earth and everything she provides as a gift to us all, we are bound in gratitude to reciprocate that gesture with our honor, respect, and caring. The Sky Woman story gives people an understanding that people have a beneficial relationship with each other, and that by caring for the earth and helping to sustain these gifts we're given can allow us to settle into the abundance for thousands of years. Tending respectfully, they learned how controlled burning of the prairies encouraged the grasses the bison loved to feed on to grow and kept the herds abundant. How creating meadow breaks in the mountains of California captured the water and kept the surrounding trees better supplied to withstand droughts. Or how harvesting sweetgrass, a sacred plant on the East Coast, made the stands grow stronger than when the stands were left alone. In the Native tradition, humans are called little brothers, acknowledging the plants and animals who came before us and who may have wisdom to teach us about how to get along and thrive. Let us for a moment contrast that story with our own First Lady Eve. who was cast out of a garden for eating a forbidden fruit, and with the gates clanked shut behind her, is condemned to toil by the sweat of her brow in a wasteland. Just a visitor here, really, biding her time until she can return to her real home up in heaven. For her, the world is not a kind place, and she's not charged with treating it with gratitude and kindness. The plants, the animals, they're to be feared, competed with, or subdued and used. These cosmology stories form the basis of our differing cultures, and they subtly shape the way we see the world and our relationship to it. They give us instructions on how to live, and we Europeans have not been instructed to embrace nature, the chaos, the wildness we find here. In fact, we've turned away wholeheartedly from anything resembling wild as we strive to bring order, control, and dominion over place and people alike. And we've disseminated that attitude worldwide, and now we see where that's gotten us. Sensing the end is nigh and trying to get off this planet. When I read about our scientists' work on the mission to Mars, I acknowledge how wondrous and profound it is that they can even do the math that is getting us there. But at the same time, I can't help but sigh because I know it's that very same military, industrial complex, technological drive that got us to the brink of this environmental catastrophe here. Using the natural resources we have to create our unnatural environments in which to live seems so out of sync with what could be. It makes me wonder if we really aren't the descendants of some extraterrestrial beings who seeded the asteroids in this universe with their DNA. This is what Francis Crick, the scientist responsible for mapping the double helix structure of our DNA, believed. Well, I just wish if all the scientists of the world could get together to work on healing this planet instead of trying to get off this planet. We would be so much better off. But there are other scientists now who posit that life began right here on Earth in the deep water vents of our oceans, and that the Earth's own structure provided the structure needed for single-cell organisms to come into being. In other words, the Earth herself gave birth to life. We belong to this Earth. We belong to the Earth. We are not in control, and getting off this planet so we can be is not a sustainable solution for extending our lives. So what do we do now? I think we need to try to fashion lifestyles that are sustainable, regenerative, and interdependent. Well, we all know the words, sustainable, regenerative, interdependent. But how do these words really play out in our lives? What do they really mean for us? Interdependent, everything affects everything else. This is truly a complex web of existence. And because we don't really know what we don't know yet, it's often best to just pause and observe before trying to improve upon it. There's a story told about a village in Borneo that had a problem with rats. So the village elders got together with some well-meaning folks and decided to import cats. And the cats did a great job killing the mice and rats. And after they were done with that, they went after the birds. The cats succeeded in decimating the bird population, and within a season, everyone's thatched roofs collapsed. You see, there was a worm eating the thatch that was kept in check by the birds who ate the worm. Yes, this is just one example of the unintended consequences of fixing one problem without understanding and honoring the whole larger set of connections and interconnections and consequences we're still figuring out or coming to acceptance of. I remember myself as a young gardener eager to prove my worth to a client. I disparaged the old gardener's leaving of the branches and the leaves under the sycamore trees. Now let's get this cleaned up, I said, and the client liked the way that sounded. Only years later did I come to understand that the sycamores, like the avocados, need their leaves to stay underfoot, to stay in place and quietly decompose for the health of the tree and the earth that supports it. And even now, I seem to blunder through my life so often. I came home from a 3-week trip, took one look at my little courtyard patio with all the spider webs and leaves and old bougainvillea petals caught in the trees. I can't have people over with things looking like this, I thought. So I cut back, raked up, threw away bundle after bundle of branches and leaves, intending to fertilize that tangerine tree, my next chore. Only a few days later, I'm watching a video on surviving this drought, and I'm instructed to cut nothing living back, leave the carbon where it is, and for heaven's sakes, don't fertilize, but do mulch, mulch, mulch. In other words, don't do any of the things I had just done and was contemplating doing. It seems all that old wisdom of late season garden cleanup that's taken me 65 years to learn is no good anymore. And instead, we all need to go back to an even older wisdom of allowing the natural processes to work their way through their cycles, to hold on in place all the living nature we can, if there's any hope of making our way through this catastrophic drought. Sustainable, what does that mean? Do the practices I employ keep me healthy and happy? And well, I spend my time growing food. I try to watch what I eat. I go heavy on the dark leafy greens, and I try to grab opportunities for singing and dancing whenever I can. But there's no guarantee. And it's hard because this lifestyle feels perhaps too slow for this century of supersonic travel and high-speed internet. It harkens back to a time and a place and a people whose lifestyles we have denigrated for hundreds of years now. But if I'm to believe what scientists and my own intuition is telling me, it's really the only way to go to be sustainable in my own life. I do not like to change. I am resistant to change, but I know in my heart that I need to adapt to the changing environment I find myself in, to reduce, reuse, recycle, and past that, connect myself up with the people who are doing the work of figuring out more interconnected ways of living that will sustain the health of this planet. I think most of all, to be sustainable, we need to be regenerative. And to be regenerative, we need to embrace the death cycle, the chaos of disintegration at the bottom of everything. In our homes and in our lives, we're often encouraged to only present to the world one part of this cycle, either growing or flowering or maybe fruiting. It's difficult for us to allow for the full maturity, for death and decay to be on display. It's hard because that isn't necessarily pretty, and perhaps we don't want to be reminded of what is imminent for us all. But if we don't wait for the cycle to complete itself, there will always be a dependence on outside energy and resources to keep that cycle going. So if we can embrace the cycle, honoring that in our own lives and in the lives all around us, and reframe our idea of what is beautiful, of what has worth, perhaps we can fashion a lifestyle that's more sustainable, regenerative, and interdependent. And if we can offer up our own bodies to fertilize the earth when our time comes, all the better. If we can let a little wild black back in, spread a little wildness ourselves, and embrace this mess that's part of nature's process, I'm hopeful the earth will regenerate itself for the benefit of all. When we think about what we want to leave to future generations, our houses, money, advancements in science and society alike, it's humbling to think that the most significant thing we might do is to make sure that tree in our front yard survives this drought. Or maybe just plant another. But maybe we don't have a tree in our front yard. Maybe something else calls to our imagination. Maybe we just throw out a handful of wildflower seeds when the rains come. Or maybe we just stop cleaning up. Now, rewilding is going to look different for everyone in every place. But if we can redirect some of the energy we use to make things ordered, neat, and tidy, gather up our resources and turn our homes into dry farmed food forests for all the creatures, we may not stop the war in Ukraine, but we may be able to create a sanctuary, a way station, or perhaps just a place to land, if only for a moment, on this blessed earth. So I say, let us embrace the example of Sky Woman and scatter our seeds of gratitude wherever we go, knowing there's always a chance one of our ideas just might take root in the world to be. Let us plant our seeds for the future generations so we might turn a country of immigrants into an indigenous people, committed to sustainable, regenerative practices in the spaces we occupy. And let us not insist on occupying every space or allowing only spaces we deem useful to us to survive intact. Let us honor instead the intrinsic value of a place simply being. Let us see if we can give back to nature pieces of the land we have claimed to have dominion over for so long. To worship, at its root, is to look for the worth in a thing. So I say, let us worship our trash. Let's stop trying to throw it away. Recognize there is no away. And begin instead to honor it so that we may learn to use it, finally, wisely and well. In gratitude, I'd like to offer you this song by Mo Washburn that we can sing together. And I have to say, why do we sing? We sing because it's from time immemorial. Singing, dancing has been humans' way of showing gratitude to the abundance that the universe has provided. It's a way we connect with each other and all things in sacred space. So we'll do it as a call and response, and then join me harmonizing, riffing off any way you'd like. It goes like this. I believe that I belong to the earth.
To the earth.
I belong.
I belong.
May my life be a song.
Be a song.
May my song feed the earth.
Feed the earth.
I believe that I belong to the earth.
To the earth.
I belong. May my life be a song.
Be a song.
May my song feed the earth.
Feed the earth.
I believe I belong to the earth. I belong. May my life be a song. May my song feed the earth. I do believe that I belong to the earth. I belong. Now may my life be a song, and may my song feed the earth. I do believe that I belong. I do believe that I belong. I do believe. Thank you.
The morning offering will now be given and received. Please remember, we are a self-sustaining congregation and provide all the financial resources for our many ministries. We recognize the spiritual value of generosity and invite you to participate. If you are viewing the service remotely, please use one of the methods shown on the screen. Thank you. A little bit of Chicago. And thank you for all the gifts given and received for the work of this community. Let us now sing the doxology.
From all that dwell below the skies, let faith and hope with love arise. Let beauty, truth, and good be sung through every land, by every tongue.
Please stand if you are able and sing the closing hymn. Love will guide us. Number 131.
Love will guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside us will lead the way on the road from grief to giving. Love
Can't go wrong if love is guiding us. Let us now recite the valediction. We extinguish the flame of this chalice, and we know that the light of truth and love and the warmth of this community go with us until we meet again. Please extinguish your chalice at home now. After the benediction, we encourage you to stay for questions and comments. Darcey will call on you when you raise your hand. Darcey?
Do I come here?
I know, I was trying to come in here closer.
As we embrace the messiness of nature, let us also embrace each other in gratitude for the wondrous space we've created to explore the deepest meanings of our lives together. Let us celebrate the myriad of ways we feed each other's bodies and souls in this space, so that we may rest and regenerate for the new day.